This is a story that we've been tracking and reporting for months now. The reason we are talking about it again today is America. Washington seems to have suddenly woken up to the plight of the Uyghur Muslims in China. Curious timing. This comes just days ahead of crucial trade talks between America and China. This is no human rights move. This is classic arm twisting. First, the US blacklisted 28 Chinese companies, and now it has slapped visa restrictions on Chinese officials. This move specifically targets Chinese government and Communist Party officials who are suspected of being involved in the oppression of Muslims. The American government has not named anyone in particular, but it has now given itself a license to deny visa to any Chinese official. As expected, Beijing has slammed this move. It calls the affairs in Xinjiang an internal matter, and it says that America's decision is malicious.
The US disregards the facts, grossly smears and slanders China for the Xinjiang issue, deliberately makes up pretext for its interference in China's internal affairs, disrupts Xinjiang's anti-terrorism efforts, and obstructs China's stable development. All this will only make the Chinese people and the international community see through their malicious intentions. All these tricks will not shake the firm will of the Chinese government and people to defend the national sovereignty and safeguard social development and stability.
Now, it is a fact that the Muslims of Xinjiang are an oppressed lot. You just saw those images. But until this week, Xinjiang was nowhere on America's radar. In fact, the world has remained silent for nearly 2 years as China detained more than 1 million Muslims. The Chinese state has been accused of committing horrific atrocities on Muslims. This includes charges of arbitrary arrests and detention, torture, extrajudicial executions, gang rapes, and sexual assault. Not a word from America. But in the last 2 days, this issue has become the leading flashpoint between the US and China. On Monday, 28 Chinese companies were blacklisted by the US. This includes 8 companies and a number of police departments that are involved in mass surveillance. They depended on American tools to keep a watch on Chinese citizens, and now they cannot buy any American-made technology. For the first time, America has used human rights as a reason to impose export controls on another nation. America's newfound love for human rights is a little difficult to digest, though. Reports say recently Donald Trump told Xi Jinping that if trade talks progress, he will remain quiet on the Hong Kong protests. It is all transactional, you see, all business. Now, Washington is gearing up to target specific individuals within the governance system of China. And America is not mincing words. Here is what Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said in a tweet, and I'm quoting, "China has forcibly detained over 1 million Muslims in a brutal, systematic campaign to erase religion and culture in Xinjiang. China must end its draconian surveillance and repression, release all those arbitrarily detained, and cease its coercion of Chinese Muslims abroad."